Hi, welcome back to another gadget report. Let's talk gadgets. And this week I'm going to talk about Boeing. And Boeing is actually using its Echo demonstrator to implement or to test new and greener technologies that may turn aviation even greener and more efficient. So come with me and let's talk gadgets. So let's talk gadgets. In last month, Boeing put up a press release informing that they are using its Echo demonstrator program to test new technologies that help reduce waste and help implement better recycling practices. Boeing, and I'm reading my notes because obviously it's a lot of information and I don't want by any means make it wrong. So the program is focused on strengthening operational efficiency and sustainability in cabin interiors, one of the most challenging part of the recycling an airplane. The company will begin testing this month using a 777-200ER, which means extended range, as you know. So they are using this aircraft to test all sorts of things. And these are airport operations. So they'll start with airport operations and they will be testing to enable single engine taxi and digital taxi clearances to reduce fuel use and enhance safety to reducing the pilot workload. So basically, and from my understanding of reading this press release, the aircraft will be doing or would be doing the taxi using one engine only. That we can easily see that this would help in many ways. It would help, for example, reduce the fuel consumption. One engine would obviously reduce the fuel consumption. Would also, as it says, be less pilot workload as well. So this is it's good. Less fuel, less emissions. But obviously there's also the safety issue, etc. So this is one of the tests. The other test would be regarding airport noise, and we know that this is always the big elephant in the room, and communities that live around airports, they know that sometimes they are affected by noise. We also know that this has been massively improved over the years, and aircraft these days are way less noisy than they were a few years ago. We can only remember the beautiful Concorde. Yes, she was beautiful. Yes, she was fast. She was amazing, but it was also extremely noisy. And those who had the opportunity of seeing her and hearing her know that it was really a very noisy aircraft. Another one that we know and love, I know I do, it's our beautiful Queen of the Skies, our Boeing 747. It is an amazing piece of machinery. It's an amazing aircraft that a lot of aviation lovers like myself love it. I do. I love the Queen of the Skies. She will always be the queen in my view. But yes, she was also very noisy. I cannot forget. And I must say, I know it's wrong. I know it's not very pleasant for a lot of people, but for those who love aviation, and if you are listening to me, there's nothing for me that the memory of getting to the runway and the pilot putting those 4 engines on and that acceleration of takeoff, it's an experience that I will never forget. And obviously it's something that if you are an aviation lover like myself, you probably are now listening to me and saying, "Oh yeah, that is amazing," because it is. It is something that is actually a great feeling. That raw. I remember living very close to Sydney Airport, and back in the day when I moved to Australia, the 747s were still in circulation. There was a lot of them in circulation. There still is, but obviously airlines, very little airlines now use them for passenger transport. So we hardly see them, unfortunately. And back in the day, Qantas mainly used 747s. We had British Airways coming to Sydney with the 747 that I flew so many times and I loved, and other airlines like Thai, Singapore, you name it. And every single time there was a 747 departing Sydney, I could not see it at first because I used to live in one apartment that did not have direct views to the runways. After that, I did actually lived in one that I could see them taking off. But before that, I knew that it was a 747 when I heard that roar. And when we heard that roar, we just know it's the Queen of the Skies. But I digress. So this will help reduce noise. We know that it's something that it's unpleasant, especially if it's at nighttime. It's very unpleasant. So what Boeing is proposing to do, and the tests that they are doing, is quantifying the benefits of flight operation procedures like a steeper glide slope and continuous descent approach to reduce community noise and fuel use and emissions. So again, from my understanding, it's that they are testing the way that they would do the final approach and the descending and the landing using technologies like steeper glide slope and continuous descent approach. So using less powers, less engine, and more of the natural descent of the aircraft. This is how I read it. Please, if you are a pilot or anyone at Boeing and you disagree with me, leave a comment below. This is how I interpret the press release that I'm reading. So this is, I think, is important. If you reduce the noise, in taxi, if you reduce the fuel consumption, we can see where all this is going through a less consumption, less emissions, because let's face it, yes, it is something that we want to achieve the target zero. We want zero emissions. We want aviation to be greener. We want aircraft to consume less fuel, be more fuel efficient, because that is also cost effective. Because if the aircraft consumes less, it's more money in the airline still, and we know that. So it's not just because everyone wants to be the good guy and be really green. And yes, it is for that. It's undeniable that aviation is making a huge effort into this, but we also need to look at this as a cost cutting measure and be more financial sound and be more efficient. And in that, obviously, when you cut the fuel consumption, you are obviously cutting the costs as well, because we all know that fuel for aviation is extremely expensive. Now, waste reducing materials, and Boeing, according to this press release, they are working on lighter, recyclable, and more durable floor coverings and recycled carbon fiber ceiling panels, both made with 25% bio-based resin. So Boeing is looking at a more greener approach into the materials they use for the cabins, for the interior design of the aircraft, which obviously it's a good thing, because once these birds reach the end of their life shelf, they're going to be, unfortunately, they will end up teared apart and used into pieces or recycled, etc. And if we use materials that can be easily recycled and that do not end in a landfill or something like that, it's also a good option, and it's something that we all want. So this is another good. Noise and weight reduction, it's another test that they're doing with cabin insulation to better reduce noise and regulate humidity and temperature, and fabric covered acoustic panels for the bulkhead and galley. So it's very important, this as well. So the environment inside of the aircraft is also pleasant and less noisy. We know that basically we don't have much noise these days, but if we can reduce the noise that we still do, and yeah, that is part that raw that I was talking about before. With this, maybe it will be reduced. And then obviously the constant work for a better future, future cabin concepts, and Boeing says that economy and business class seats with sensors that detect if someone is seated during taxi, takeoff and landing, which can improve safety and reduce crew workloads and downtime for maintenance. A touchless water conservation laboratory, and a galley technologies to make cabin service more efficient and reduce food waste. I think this is great. I think this is obviously good measures. Good that Boeing is testing all of this. I hope good things come out of this testing, and they soon implement something along these lines, because obviously, and as I said, it is good for aviation in terms of carbon emissions, in terms of getting aviation where it needs to be in terms of environment, but also this is very, very good for running airlines, and obviously running a profitable business, which all airlines want. And if these measures end up being tested and proven to be good to be implemented, I think this would be a very good thing for aviation. Of course, I don't think this is set in stone yet. These are tests. Boeing is doing these tests to obviously ascertain if it is a good measure or not. If it is, if they prove that this is a good measure for aviation, I think we have a very, very, very good times to come. So this was, I will leave the link below for this press release, and you will read everything. Basically what I said here, it's important things like the use of SAF. They talk about the use of SAF, that we know Boeing has been involved in all of this, and so is Airbus and other plane manufacturers. Planes are more and more fuel efficient, and SAF is a reality. I also said, and I've been talking about hydrogen, which is also being tested, and it's something that would be a very good option for aviation as well. The future will tell, but I think this is another good step in aviation's future, and I'm hoping to get your input on this. What do you think? And that's all for today. I hope you like this gadget report, and you also welcome these new tests by Boeing, these new measures that I believe will be very positive for not only Boeing aircraft, but for aviation in general, because we all know that when a company or when one of the manufacturers implements something, soon after, the other ones will follow, and that will become the norm. And when it's something that it's really a positive thing or a very good technology, it will end up being used throughout the whole industry. We all know that. So I hope this is the beginning of a new era and more good technology to be implemented in aviation, starting with Boeing, of course, because they are the ones who are doing this testing. But obviously, in the future, I will believe that this will, if this is implemented and this is proven to be good technology to be implemented, I'm sure that soon enough will be implemented throughout the entire sector. We all know, put a like on the video and subscribe the channel with a little click on the bell so you get a new insider, a new gadget report. And I keep on making a mistake, I do apologize. A new gadget report every week. Before I go, I'd like to thank you all for watching and inform you that there won't be a gadget report next week. In fact, I will be back in August only. I'll have a little break and I will be back in August. I hope you have a nice break. I'll be back with more news, more aviation, more gadgets, plenty of gadgets. I would also like to tell you, I know it's out of the scope of this channel, but you all know that I'm a translator and I have also a course. I'm a mentor and I have a school called Updated Words Learning. And I would like to tell you that this month of June, I'm running a very special end of financial year offer. And if you sign up to any of my courses or any of my plans, you get a 30% off discount, a discount of 30% that you can use. You can also pay now, or should I say buy now and pay later, using any of your platforms, like Afterpay, for example, and then pay your courses or plans in very convenient installments. So if you want to become a translator, I know this is out of the scope of this channel, but if you happen to be a translator and if you would like to do any of these courses, have a look at my school and sign in today with a 30% discount using the code word EOFY24, EOFY24. So come with me. So now it's time to go. Have a good break. See you in August. Thank you for watching. Bye.